Hello, friends and adventurers, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Exile 2 Crystal Souls. I have taken a few days to mentally recover from Kothtar, and also get various items identified, sold, etc. So, first up, we found some cleansing powder there. This will cast Cleanse, and is basically a free cure poison and or disease. Pretty good to have if one is wandering through a bunch of swamps or dealing with evil priests. There was also a potion in the same chamber we found this powder. I don't remember which potion that was. I've got a couple of good ones in my inventory now. Like Telemane's got a few strong healing and an energy potion. Whatever. Also, of course, we did get the Orb of Thralny. We'll see that in action soon enough. But what about those mysterious metal bars in the Ifrit's Forge? Well, I picked up one of those. It is a mithril bar, which is worth quite a lot. And presumably, what they were using to create this magic greatsword. Now, this was my primary save, but I decided to take a backup save to go back into Kothtar and pick up a few more of these delicious magical items. We found even more mithril and this nether greatsword. I don't know what it does. I don't think I like the sound of it. We also got a cursed greatsword to go along with the magic greatsword. Now, one odd thing. There is a chance, when you go into that Ifrit's Forge and pick up bars of metal, that you can find something much worse than mithril. There is a chance that you can pick up a uranium bar, which will poison your party. I did this in one of my saves, which unfortunately did not make it into the final recording, and I didn't feel like going back into Kothtar yet again to try and replicate that. I was pleasantly surprised that the RNG showed mercy and gave me a bunch of mithril. We've also got this mithril short sword, which has pretty good damage. In fact, that winds up being a little bit better than this steel rapier. Because Trouble needed even more skill in killing things with swords. Anywho, I do need to find some place to go sell off my mithril. You can see I've done a bit of inventory shuffling to spread out my fire resistance. But, I'm morbidly curious. Not enough free hands. Interesting. Nether greatsword does appear to not be cursed. Maybe it will drain enemy hit points? Maybe it will drain my hit points. Who can say? Seriously, I expected that thing to be cursed. But we do need to go and report in at Darman once I remember where to find the person we're supposed to report in to. I think this is her. Here we go. You hand Mayor Radnor the plans. She eagerly searches through them. And this is the plans that we found in Kothtar for the Empire making their mutant giant army. Wonderful! This will be invaluable in dealing with them. She fetches you a large sack of gold and takes some notes down. I will tell the castle what you've done. Awesome. We've already got royal clearance, but every little bit helps, I guess. Now, is there someone here that I can sell stuff to? Excellent. Yeah, the Nether Greatsword is not selling for a lot. I think I'm going to end up not liking that. Also, I think I've pretty much fixed my gold problem. Oh yeah, a couple more shields that I found. So somewhere in my Kothtar runs, I've picked up a magic large shield, which has really good defense for only 1 encumbrance. And a shield of Klin, which, I guess you can use to cast Bless on yourself. That would be much more impressive if I didn't have Major Blessing and Bless Party and such. I'll sell that too, I want the inventory space. Eight, 2, 6. Yeah, I don't think I really need this magic buckler anymore. Alright. There is one more thing I can do while I'm in Darman. Is I can find the priest who's supposed to be in the Temple of Crossed Swords. Okay, altar decorated with broken weapons and such. Where are you? I know you're supposed to be around here somewhere. There you are. I can make sure that I have all of the level 6 priest spells. I have Pestilence, I'm probably never going to use it. Have you... I have learned Summon Guardian. Again, probably never going to use it because an invisible ally is way too likely to get hit by my own spells. But, you know, I gotta spend all this money on something. Can't leave town from that direction. You start to feel very ill. There's a lot of nausea, and bits of your hair start falling out. Oh dear. Well, Cimarine recovered from her disease really quickly, but, I think I really need to get rid of this Nether Greatsword. He's not good. Oh, crud. Okay, Morrowind, what can we do? Revive all. Okay, Major Cleansing is the one that would actually do the things. Cleansing powder. You feel cleansed. Yay? So yeah, we didn't find the base uranium ore. We found what the Afrits were doing with it. Let's just toss you into the lake, shall we? Ah, yes, Revive does cure poison. Excellent. So, while we're in this corner, let's see if Shani has anything good. Magic Broadsword. Giantish Gauntlets could actually be interesting. And some other stuff. Giantish gauntlets give you giant strength and a fair bit of defense. I could give this to Kazal and really wreck some face. In fact, I kind of want to do that. Because Kazal does not already have gloves. So yeah, I intend for this episode to be more of a chill outing after all of the combat of the last 4 episodes. Ha. Also, I do have enough money to afford training from Kevtar this time. And I can only afford one at a time. Let's go with Scorn. Kevtar coldly, methodically takes you through a demanding regimen of training. He contemptuously dismisses your fighting technique, and shares his fascinating insights with you. It's a difficult several days, but when you're done, your skill has increased. By 1 whole point, over several days. Really. I'm pretty sure the remakes handle that better by giving your entire party an extra point in edged weapons. It's been a while since I've played them, so I'm not certain. But really, in this game, I feel like just buying skill potions and training is way more cost-effective than going to Kevtar. You see what you think are humans camped around a fire. When you get close, however, you realize you've made a critical mistake. The rakshasas gleefully attack. Man, I said I wanted less combat this time. Also, why do you have zombies with you? Fireball may not actually be the best thing here. Alright, Drakes can cast the spells. That's lovely. But it turns out Drakes are not fireproof. I just had a thought. Are rakshasas immune to wound? Ha! They're not! Physical damage spell for the win! Anti-magic on you for the win as well! Oh, but I can't target into an anti-magic cloud with the spell. Because it is still a spell even if it does physical damage. Poop. Well, that was way easier than I expected. Also, I'm going to go ahead and restore Mind on Trouble because otherwise it will annoy me. Please don't be more rakshasas. You are in the middle of a large expanse of what is called the Waste, the southwest corner of the Great Cave, which is notable for its utter uselessness. Just a huge sheet of flat, solid rock, totally bereft of useful plants or interesting features. Yep, map sure is empty around here. look, an excuse to use my new orb. Orb! What a pleasant surprise. Here, growing well out of the way of society, are several patches of asp-tongue mold. Which would be great if I ever felt like making my own poisons. Yes, today shall be a very stimulating time of exploring this bit of the Great Cave. And also Patrick's Tower, because we haven't even been there yet. A platoon of Exile soldiers and mages approach and question you briefly. Once they're satisfied you're not Empire agents, they tell you they're guarding the way to Patrick's Tower, which is to the south. Then you part ways. Yep, Patrick's Tower, to the south. And some Nephar warriors and Rakshasa. Okay then. Just the one Rakshasa, wasn't too bad. And of course the Nephar warriors don't stand up too well to me anymore. So, what secrets lie over here? You see, farther down the passage, some sort of melee going on. One group of humanoids is blasting another group with spells. You try to decide whether to get involved, but the decision is made for you. The group that is getting blasted flees, heading straight towards you. You see their Exile soldiers, being chased by several humanoids with the heads of tigers. Before you can get out of the way, a battle is swirling around you. With Rakshasas, Hydras, and Nephar chiefs. Interesting. Okay, there were more Rakshasas in that one. That was kinda rough. So much summoning. Also, all of my allies kind of died, but we're just going to ignore that. You help patch up the few surviving soldiers, and ask them what happened. They tell you that they were patrolling to the west, and stumbled upon a colony of the cat-headed beasts. The creatures subdued them easily. The beasts decided to eat half the soldiers, and hunt the rest for sport. Then, tired and terrified, the soldiers head for home. Yuck. Yeah, I will go deal with that den of Rakshasas eventually. Not today. Okay, do we have enough spell points to cure Telemine here? Good, good. It is a small miracle that none of my characters died in that one. Much better. So, let's take a few minutes to unwind a bit in Patrick's Tower. A much friendlier place than the Rakshasa Den. It looks like this time it's got entrances on all four sides. You meet a guard, as large as all the other guards you've met in Exile, but nowhere near as scarred and weathered. He says, "Hopkins. Hoping the war doesn't go so badly we have to fight here." Fair enough, dude. Patrick's Tower is one of the major research libraries in Exile. I would really hate for the Empire to come here. A cat has boldly walked up to you and is staring at you curiously, as cats often do. Call me Felix. It talks! How cute! I'm Jade's familiar. My mistress, a mighty wizard. But she'd have to be to have me. She's in the laboratory now. It's around here somewhere. Real secret and stuff. It stretches, meows, and continues. She doesn't let me in there. Jealous of my intelligence, I guess. Probably. Or maybe there's some delicate potions that need to not have cat hair in them. Familiar? Magical servant. Friend for life. Someone to feed eternally. That sort of thing. It pauses to play with and then munch a small lizard. There's a pause. Not much I can tell you. Alrighty then. Yes, as with many locations, I do believe the layout of this tower has changed between games. And I don't remember quite where everything is. You meet an aging woman. Despite her increasing years, her waist-length black hair doesn't show the slightest sign of gray. As she walks, she embroiders. That would take some skill. She curtsies. I am Hethwiza, lady of this tower. I assist my husband, Patrick. She sighs. The poor dear works himself too hard, but not as hard as he did before my illness. She continues making stitches as she speaks. A deadly fever afflicted me a few years ago. I would have died, but for a band of adventurers who brought Greymold salve and healed me. Remarkable stuff. I hear the recipe for it is on a shelf around here somewhere. It can heal practically any disease. She brushes her hair out of her face and looks at you solemnly. I owe my life to it. Okay, so Greymold salve might be important again. Sign hanging on the wall. Captain Raven, Garrison Commander. But first, bookshelves. I didn't really think there would be anything useful on those, but always good to check. There is a bitter-looking soldier slouching behind the desk. He has a 3-day growth of stubble on his face. He looks at you blankly. I'm Captain Raven. I run the garrison here, such as it is. He chuckles. Yes, I take good care of my smattering of soldiers. We have a few troops, not many, and mostly green. All the seasoned troops are at the front, where I should be. You may think I'm stupid, wanting to be at the front, where I could get chopped, instead of at my nice, boring job here. But think on this. We break at the front, and we all die. The Empire will butcher us all. If I'm going to die, I want it to be up there, where I can help prevent it. It's that simple. He grimaces in frustration. Lithgow of Silvar, magical attaché. Did we meet Lithgow in the previous game? I don't remember. This room's desk is covered not with papers, but with herbs and toadstools, bowls and powders. Sitting behind the desk is a large, affable man, staring at his reagents. I'm Lithgow. Welcome. I'm the person who coordinates what the mages here do with what the castle wants them to do. But that's not what I'm worrying about now. I'm worrying about a potion. Yes, I can't tell you what it is for, but I can tell you I'm short on ingredients. But I see you're adventurers. I can reward you well if you can obtain certain substances for me. Substances such as? Ah, you'll help? Wonderful. The first thing I need is a Borgia toadstool. They're very rare. They only exist in the lower caves. Perhaps some grow in Vanatile lands. It's worth a look. That would be a long trip, buddy. But we will eventually need to return to Vanatai Lands anyway. And boring storeroom, dining hall, kitchen. You meet a big, beefy man, mixing up some goop in a metal bowl. His cheeks are flushed, a ruddy glow penetrating the paleness that is the mark of all exiles. Unusually, the food he's mixing smells delicious. Hello, I'm Marco. I'd shake, but, well. He shows you his hands. They're covered with bits of dough. I'm the chef here at Patrick's Tower, and let me tell you, it's darn difficult. I want to cook good food. It's what I take pride in. But what do I have to cook with? Mushrooms and mold. And bits of stringy lizard meat. He grins. At least, that's what it was like until recently. You see, it all got better when the Empire came. Oh, really? They brought food with them, and we captured it. They brought dirt, too, and we got some. I got actual, genuine garlic cloves. And fruit. And we got some other sorts of animals. Want a taste? Yes, please. Marco puts some of the dough he's mixing in your mouth. It's cookie dough, made of real flour. Most of the captured food went to Darman, but some came here. If you want a real meal, at last, Darman is to the west. That's where to go. You barely hear what he says. It's just too wonderful tasting real cookie dough again. Cookie dough. Hall of Meditation, currently unoccupied. Patrick's office. This is Patrick's desk. Nervously, you search through it. It has a paper, pens, empty folders, and all the other things you'd expect. Nothing interesting, though. Nothing on the pedestals. Door is locked. Let's leave this alone until we actually find Patrick. Library! One of my favorite rooms. You meet a young blonde woman, lost in thought. Her fingers are stained with ink, as if she's just been doing a lot of writing. She has a bow slung over her shoulder. She shakes your hands, getting ink on them. I'm Rita, of the Shikanya clan. Thank you, Jeff, for putting the pronunciation of Shikanya in there. Also with a name that specific, probably based on someone he knows. She smiles wearily. I'm doing research. It's what I'm best at. I study magic items. It's actually a big help in the war. We get lots of weird magic, and I figure out what it does and how we should use it, and then write a paper and it ends up on our shelves. She takes the bow off her shoulder and shows it to you. Lately I've been doing some archery. She shows you the bow. This is called a bow of Cag. At least, that's what the Empire had labeled the ones we captured from them. I've been shooting it a lot, trying to figure out how accurate it is, but it hasn't been working. You see, while I'm shooting it, I keep losing my arrows. I'm so absent-minded. Yeah, that is a hint that if you ever find a bow of Cag, you probably don't want to use it, because it will just straight up make half of your arrows disappear. You find a paper on magical items by someone named Rita of the Shikanya clan. The summary: Potion of Bliss. Heals and blesses together. Highly beneficial. Another paper by Rita. The summary: Rune Shield. Shield very useful for mages. Very light and unobtrusive. And I've already got one. And yes, I will absolutely search through all of these bookshelves. Ruby and onyx charms, very protective. The former against fire, the latter against magic. Orb of Thralny, allows flight for long distances. Stolen by Empire. Believed taken west of Fort Remote. Well, now we need to add in an addendum of rescued by Cimmerian and Co. Exile forces. Unspecified services, to be precise. Rare tomes, Magi clearance only. You feel a brief chill as you pass through a thin, invisible magical barrier. There is a woman in maid's robe sitting at the table. She has short black hair and a distracted manner, and has several books on the table in front of her. My name is Kelly, with an I. I'm a mage of the tower. At the moment, I'm doing a little research. What else? I'm here to dig up dirt on several sorts of monsters. Forewarned is forearmed. The castle wants me to look into two sorts of monsters, mutant giants and doom guards. And we have now encountered both of those. I don't know much about these, but I do know this. Normally, the Empire has been killing all the giants they could find. However, some other giants have been fighting with them. Larger, stronger, misshapen giants. We don't know where they're from, but they're deadly. Well, we do know where they're from now, and it's horrifying. Her expression darkens. Legendary creatures who we're starting to think exist. Their suits of armor, almost impervious to damage. And when you actually do manage to damage them, they just split into two. Of course, the rumors may be just that. Rumors. I hope so. Oh, we wish. Doomguards aren't that bad if you don't mind many, many rounds of just whacking at them. These shelves contain the library's exceptionally valuable tomes, kept on polished, sparsely populated shelves. Unfortunately, the tomes don't seem to contain the practical, valuable knowledge you crave. Aw. This one might. You find a tome on, of all things, quickfire by itself on a shelf. Reading it, you learn that magical barriers are capable of holding in quickfire. Remarkably, even the lowly fire barrier can hold the flaming torrents at bay. Indeed. Even more bookshelves! Find a paper on magical items by someone named Rita. The summary, Wand of Vorb, devastates user. No other effects. Probably product of failed attempt to create another wand. Wand of Vorb. Do not use, you will be sad. Feldspar and Ivory Charms, yin and yang. One makes the wearer more vulnerable, and one protects. Ivory Charm, good. Feldspar Charm, not good. This dusty chamber contains the books that there weren't any room for, and were deemed non-useful. It seems a shame to treat something as rare as a book this way. You grab one of the thinner of the forgotten, dusty books. It's an unfinished novel about life in exile, written on lichen paper. It's about a dock worker. One thing you notice, it mentions him getting rid of barrels by shoving them into big chasms. Okay, what a random bit of information there. Some plants. And this is the garden where, presumably, they are trying to actually grow some delicious food plants. You meet a heavy-set Moor with an air of total self-assurance. His hands and garb are covered with the stains of actual dirt! His voice is deep and sure. My name is Cochrane. He picks a fleck of dirt from his clothes and shows it to you. I'm the gardener here. Yes, actual, honest-to-goodness dirt. The Empire brought some down with them to grow plants, and we captured a lot of it. A rare and wondrous find indeed. He removes a pouch from his pocket and scrapes dirt from his clothes into it, so that none of it goes to waste. My job at the moment. I'm an alchemist, see, so they thought I was the natural for studying and working with plants. Before this, you see, I did much research of crypt shrooms. You see, there's a large patch of them between here and the Tower of Magi, north of the lava fields. I developed 2 simple recipes for unleashing their magic. If you would like to buy them, let me know. Sure. Strong poison and weak energy potion. Reading on some of the Spiderweb fan forums, it sounds like weak energy potions are actually a pretty good use of alchemy in the original games. What's this? There's a large brass plaque. Conference hall, Magi clearance only. I've got Magi clearance. This is the solemn, beautiful conference room of Patrick's Tower. It is done in the Vanatai style, although the tiles and such do not appear to be of Vanatai make. The glow crystal doesn't actually glow, for example. Okay, how long has it been since we first came back from Vanatai lands that you've been able to decorate an entire room like this? You meet a very old, very famous man, Patrick the Archmage, master of this tower. He is currently staring down the length of this long marble table, lost in thought. When you approach, he turns and nods at you. He says simply, I am Patrick. I am pondering our brothers below. The alien brothers you yourselves introduced us to, the Vanatai. I think about our relations with them, and our experiments. Life in these caves is such a fragile thing. Nothing should be able to live down here, but we manage, because of magic. It is their magic that created the glowing fungus that gives us light, and thus life. But I have spoken with this Rentar Irno, and I am worried. I thought according to Erica she was the one who put all the glowing fungus in the caves, but maybe she just spread around what was already here. Made it stronger. Rentar Irno. She is the greatest mage of the Vanatai. I went there myself to meet her. Impressive. She showed me the deadly magics she would gladly release to protect her people. What, I ask, will happen when we compete with them for limited space and resources? Remember, she knows how to create quickfire. Yes, he thinks. Come to think of it, the Vanatai were eager for your help. You might ask her about it. She may be willing to sell you the secret of its creation. We're trying to discover the secret of quickfire ourselves in our laboratory. Oh, it is well hidden. I should tell you how to reach it. Go to my office and search my desk. There is a button in one of the shelves. Press it, and the way shall become clear to you. You take note of this. Okay, experiments just leads back to the lab. I think that's all I can get out of Patrick. Although I remember Demon Slayer was hidden in the Patrick's Tower. I might have to go back through some notes or other videos to remember exactly how to get at it. I might have to be a impolite guest and unlock some doors here. And they're just guest rooms, nothing fancy. Hello? Bow and darts, not mine. But I want to know what this bow is. Yeah, it's just a regular cave wood bow. Kind of a waste of spell points. You search Patrick's desk for the button he told you about. You find it easily, and press it. Sure enough, a section of the bookshelf slides out of the way. Ho ho. And in the interest of map completion, Patrick and Hethwiza's bedchamber. Nothing interesting in the desk here. Yeah, there's definitely something in there. Most of the tomes are highly obscure and esoteric. Looking at them isn't doing much good. However, one of them contains a recipe which you eagerly copy down. It's the recipe for grey mold salve. Yay! There is a small woman with red hair wandering aimlessly among the tables. There is a small woman with red hair wandering aimlessly among the tables, alabemics, and barriers of the laboratory. What is an alabemic? I'm going to have to look that up later. She makes a soft humming noise as she floats around the chamber. Irritated, she pauses her humming. I am Jade. I was, before you interrupted me, performing my concentration exercises. I was trying to improve my mind dueling skills, and I would like to resume my exercises. She sighs, exasperated at your persistence. Yes, it takes great intelligence and purity of concentration to master the mind duel. It would be easier if I had a ring of will, but I don't. I do! A rare magical artifact that improves one's skill in a mind duel. Only Bactress has one, and he was slain by rakshasas. Bactress was slain by a band of the foul, illusionist tiger beasts. There's a colony of them to the west, and they took his ring of will. It is a shame, but we don't have the strength to slay them, so that's that. She begins to resume her humming. And no, I'm pretty sure I can't give my extra ring of will to Jade here. Written on the wall in neat red letters, Warning, Quickfire. Aha. Yeah, I'm not gonna dispel any of those barriers. Probably a bad idea to dispel any of these either. Well, I can't get in there through the laboratory. See, I'm pretty sure I was told about this earlier. It's just been a little while. You try to move the potted plant out of the way to see what's behind it. When you shift it forward, however, you hear a clicking noise. Then, smoothly, silently, a block of stone rises from the floor of the fountain to the surface, forming a bridge. Aha. And now what? Do I look at the statue, talk to the statue? You look at the statue carefully, and notice it isn't attached to the floor. You give it a light push, and it smoothly swings out of your way. Okay. There is a barrier here. At the end of this shadowy secret tunnel, you find a narrow, twisty stairway down. Okay. Tomb of Demon Slayer. Well, we've got an altar. At the north end of the entry hall is a glowing portal. Runes on the floor at its base read, "The Test of Demon Slayer. One alone may enter." Well, that sounds like a good challenge for another episode. Have a good one, everybody.